So, welcome back to the Web3 Insights. I'm your host, Aaron Hayhurst, and today we're joined by Morteza Khedri, who is the Chief Solidity Developer at Nex Labs. In this episode, we're going to explore real-world assets, one of the most exciting areas in DeFi at the moment. Morteza will walk us through fundamentals, benefits, challenges, and what's next for this innovative approach to bridging decentralized and traditional finance. Just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. And obviously we're at that time of year and into the new year of an exciting 2025 as well. So let's jump right in. Morteza, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. I'm
Top
really
man.
happy to meet you. And actually, I'm happy also to share my knowledge with your great community.
No, for
Merry
sure.
Christmas.
Yeah, and you. Morteza, to kick things off, could you just tell us a bit about yourself, the role that you play at Nex Labs? What is Nex Labs' mission and how are you contributing to the evolution of the Web3 space?
Yeah, sure. So before explaining my role in the Nex Labs, actually, I would like to explain Nex Labs itself and the mission. And so in the Nex Labs, our mission is we are providing more trading options to users by empowering real-world assets-based tokens, So we are generating or we are creating baskets of investments for user. So we make the investments easier by providing more indices. For example, one of our basket is Magnificent 7, top 7 stocks from US market. They are tokenized. So we created a stock basket based on that. And they are ranked by market cap. Also, we have another product called anti-inflation, which is a combination of Bitcoin and gold. So as a user, you would like to have Bitcoin or gold to keep yourself secure from inflation. So that basket can be good for you. And it's completely on-chain based on smart contracts using
Nice.
oracles, automated, secure, decentralized. There is no centralized hand in that. And we are contributing with other protocols, RWAs protocols, and we have partnership with them. And that's our mission. So as a Chief Solidity Developer, my mission and my team, actually, we are working on developing smart contracts, testing them, security check, actually optimizing functions, working on issuance and redemption functionalities, which is different based on the product. And we try to create new solutions based on the new requirements of investment for users. Yeah.
Exciting. Fantastic stuff. Appreciate the insights there. Let's dive into the main topic of today, looking at real world assets. Can you break down for the audience what real world assets are and why they're becoming, such a hot topic, particularly in DeFi?
Yeah, sure. So RWAs, this term refer to those assets, real world assets, which are tokenized and are integrated with the blockchain. So we can bring more functionality to them by tokenizing them. So these real world assets are divided mostly in two types: physical assets, which are tangible assets like metals, commodities, and let's say real world state or art. Also, other type of assets are financial assets like stocks, loans, bonds, So
Yeah.
these type of assets are tokenized and we move them to the blockchain. By moving them to the blockchain, actually we can create more functionalities to them. So user can use them in many places, on many other protocols, So for that reason, because we are empowering them, we are bringing more functionalities to those assets, they are becoming a hot topic.
Yeah, awesome. They're definitely a hot topic for sure at the moment. How do RWAs bridge the gap between traditional like financial systems and decentralized finance in particular? And what makes this integration in particular so transformative as well?
Yeah. So, as you say in your question, we have the gap. And this gap is not good
Yeah,
because it's been a long time. However, it's short time, in compare other technologies with blockchain, but it was a long time that we are working in Web3 as a developer, I say. So we have a gap between traditional finance and DeFi, and I can say that a huge percentage of the real world assets are not on chain. we don't have them on chain, so that's really a
Yeah.
big gap. And this is a solution. However, I'm not opposite of meme coins or some kind of NFTs, but I see that for developers also is our responsibility to try more, tokenize more assets. And the problem, actually, this gap, I think that's because of the real world asset itself. Because it's on the real world, it's harder to tokenize that. And
Sure.
currently, because we have digital assets, they are tokenized. Because they are digital, so it's easy to tokenizing them. For example, gaming, metaverse, and meme coins. But real world assets, because we need to have a secure integration between real world assets, between off chain and the on chain blockchain. So we have the gap, and the tokenization of the real world assets by more standard is the solution that we need to work on that, and I think that we are going in a good way, and we are actually, our speed is increasing in the development of that, and we will have more innovations in the
Yeah.
real world assets.
For sure. What are the primary benefits then of tokenizing real world assets for investors and the DeFi ecosystem? Can you provide like an example of how this works in practice?
Yeah, exactly. And that's also important because we have traditional investors, and we are not bringing only traditional assets. We are bringing traditional investors into the blockchain. So the first benefit that I can mention here is that it's increasing liquidity benefit that we can see here, and we can trade those assets in a smaller units, so we can trade portion of them. So that's really good. And if I want to actually give you an example of that, some days back I was talking with one of my friends, and I told him, why do you don't buy Bitcoin? And he answered that because Bitcoin is too expensive. I don't have 100K to buy that, And I
Yeah.
explained that, no, you don't have to buy one Bitcoin. You can buy a portion of that, small amount of money, And that's also true for real world assets. Some of them maybe they are expensive, So you can buy a portion of them. That can be real estate, which is really
Yeah.
expensive. And also you can trade that in the 24 hours of the day. Let's say, for example, the stocks, they have a limited trade time or limited days with holidays. But on chain, you can do that easily, fastly, without any time limitation. Also, cost is lower. You can trade that with lower cost. You can have multiple owners, and and much more. Also, you can do that, as I told you in the beginning of this. You can do more functional things with your tokenized assets. For example, you can use that as collateral in other protocols. You can
Yeah.
stake that. You can borrow that. You can loan that. So there are lots of functionalities that by integrating your tokenized asset with other protocols on the blockchain, you can have. And that's something
Hmm.
that you cannot do in the real world activities by real world asset.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, while real world assets, hold great promise, they obviously do also bring challenges. From your opinion, in your opinion, what are these sort of main risks, whether regulatory, technical, or operational, and how do you see these in particular being addressed?
Exactly. So we have some benefits that for sure, they are really good reasons that we can bring traditional finance and traditional investors on chain. But we have some challenges. Maybe that's because it takes a long time to bring those assets on chain. And the most important of that, as you mentioned, is about regulation. Our regulation frameworks are not that much flexible that should be,
Yeah.
is a global network. Anyone from any side of the world can has access to the blockchain. That's great. But regulation is something that can be different country by country and region by region. European Union regulation is different than North America or Southeast Asia. So regulation needs to be improved, needs to be flexible. Also, tax is something that can be a problem because also tax is an unpredictable variable in this game. And
Yeah.
anytime any government can say, okay, I wanted to put tax, I want to increase that, decrease that. So also we need to think about this challenge that we have, and also about technical development. As a developer, I see also some challenges from technical points. And my question is, do we have flexible blockchains, scalable blockchains for this huge amount of real world assets? I don't think so. Our current layer one Ethereum cannot do just normal activities currently. Sometimes we need to pay really high gas, Our layer twos are a great solution. But in my opinion, also we need to think about more scalable blockchain because we have a huge amount of real world assets off chain. So by bringing them on chain, we will have really, really high volume of transactions. So
Yeah.
scalable blockchain needs to be defined. Security is really important. In DeFi, security is the case that we always need to work on. And because we are integrating off-chain data, the on-chain data, off-chain asset, on-chain asset, so this integration can be vulnerable, and we need to think about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We were talking as well briefly there about the implementation of RWAs. What does the process of implementing RWAs look like from tokenization to integration, with the DeFi platforms? What are the key steps and considerations?
Yeah, exactly. So this process will be, actually, I want to explain that briefly because that's a question that I had before starting working in this part of industry. But thanks for contribution with other RWS protocol, I have a good view about that. So first of all, you need to select the asset that you want to tokenize. The type of asset is important. Is that a real estate? It can be a stock, it can be a loan, bond, metal, commodity. And after selecting that, you need to understand that asset. If you don't understand the asset that you want to tokenize, you will have problem because you need to choose a standard for that. So also about regulations, so you need to understand that. So you need to select that, you need to understand that, learn more about the asset, the features of that asset. Then you can come to development part. You need to select correct blockchain. We have multiple options. And we have EVM, selecting between EVM and non-EVM blockchains is important. Between layer 1 and layer 2 or layer 3, that's also important. Selecting between rollup or zero knowledge, which one you want to use, is important. After blockchain, you need to think about the token, the standard that you want to use. ERC 721, ERC 20, or it should be ERC 1155. So you should choose the standard for your token. Then you come to the developing of a smart contract, So you should define smart contract functionality for your underlying asset. And for example, ownership rules. Do you want to have multiple owners? Transfer rules. Really important because in my experience, I saw many actually protocols, they would like to have fee on transfer. I will explain that later, but you need to define the functionality in your smart contract. And after that, about security and audit of your smart contract. Also, issuance function is really important. Issuance is the actual process of minting your token in your tokenized asset, so that should be defined. Do we need to have KYC for users to do that or not? Also, after that, you need to make your tokenized asset compatible with other protocols. This asset should be functional, for example, to be collateral, to be used as a stake token, borrow, loan, And for example, following the fee of transfer that I mentioned, I remember that one protocol, they set a fee on transfer. So when you transfer that token, they decrease amount of that because of the fee for the protocol. And they didn't think about the, let's say, contribution of that token with other protocol. So Uniswap version 3 doesn't allow that you get fee from your token, So their token was failing in the swap. And that was a huge problem. So you should be sure about your token that is compatible with other protocols. That's really important because that's one of the benefits that we have.
Yeah, absolutely. You were sort of starting to go into the role of technology in RWAs there. How does blockchain technology, particularly smart contracts, as you sort of started to mention, and decentralized oracles play a role in making RWAs feasible and more scalable?
Exactly. So according to my example of the tokenizing digital asset, because we know that tokenization started with digital asset easily. So because of that, digital assets are tokenized more than real world assets. Why? Because they are digital. And the real world asset, because they are off-chain, we need a bridge between our on-chain blockchain and off-chain assets. And that's possible by Oracle, So Oracle plays a significant role in the RWAs tokenization. Especially Chainlink is doing a great job here. And I created multiple articles about how you need to secure your Oracle, because if you don't develop your Oracle securely, you will be vulnerable, you will be attacked, and your tokenized asset can be stolen, So Oracle plays really important role here. Also, standards are important. You should define a standard actually securely. You should, again, I emphasize on functionality compatible with other protocols. So you should have this technology that your token, you should understand the DeFi completely to be sure that your token can be traded in other protocols without any problem. That's really important point that you need to always check.
Yeah, no, for sure. So looking ahead, how do you see RWA sort of shaping the future of DeFi? Are there any trends or innovations you're particularly excited about?
Yeah. So first thing that I expect is about regulation. I expect that we'll have more flexible regulations.
We hope.
And we'll have, yeah. I think that's my opinion. And about technical part, we will have more innovations, especially in these days that we have AI. AI is changing everything, and AI can be a solution for many challenges that we have in RWA's development. And we will have more secure oracles. About security, we'll have more security platforms that can secure our RWA's tokens, And I'm completely pessimistic about that.
Amazing. Fingers crossed. How is Nex Labs contributing to the adoption of RWAs, and what sort of projects or initiatives should we keep an eye out on, especially in 2025? Any sort of exciting stuff that's coming up from Nex Labs?
Yeah, sure. So first thing that we are working on is that we enable user to create his own index. So by defining underlying assets, strategy that he wants, so we want to create an automated system to bring flexibility for user. Also, they can define the RWAs based index, and
Interesting.
actually that's the priority for us. Also, we'll have AI index that is a combination of AI companies and also AI cryptos. So we are integrating real world assets with crypto, and we'll provide a basket for users. So if a user says, okay, I'm, let's say, interested in AI, I think that AI will be a good investment, but he doesn't know which asset he wants to buy. For example, he wants to buy Intel or he wants to buy ICP crypto, So we'll create a basket of AI companies, and we are integrated with the stack generating protocols and also with the crypto protocols to have that basket. That's also in our roadmap that we are working on.
Amazing. Exciting stuff. Well, definitely an exciting year ahead for sure. But yeah, really insightful stuff there. Thank you, Morteza, for sharing your expertise on excuse me, real world assets and the incredible work that you're obviously doing at Nex Labs to drive the adoption. Exciting stuff coming up this year in 2025. For our listeners, if you'd like to learn more, do visit Nex Labs. I'll put some links in the post that I share this out to, and in the comment section below, and follow them for updates. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Web3 Insights for more conversations with innovators shaping the decentralized future. Thanks for tuning in. Happy New Year, and we will see you next time. Thanks, Morteza.
Thank you. Have a good day.